Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another Glacial Geek Kill Team Battle Report. I am Phil, the Glacial Geek, coming to you here from the mini wargaming bunker in Welland, Ontario, Canada, where I'm about to fight a kill team battle between my Genestealer Cult and Trevor's Ork Kommandos. So the story that we've got going on here is that this planet was controlled by Imperial forces, but they got invaded by an Ork WAAAAGH that happened to be coming through this sector. So the Imperial started fighting back against the xenos threat, but unbeknownst to them, on this planet was also a Genestealer Cult who saw the arriving xenos forms as not the four-armed emperors and their the void gods that had come to rise them on the day of Ascension, but they realized that their arrival would be a threat to them being able to prepare this planet for the void gods. So they rose up, realizing they had to fight back and claim this planet for theirs. So suddenly the Imperial forces found themselves battling not just against the Ork invasion, but also a Genestealer Cult invasion. And the Genestealer Cult was fighting the Imperials and the Orks. And the Orks were super happy because now they had multiple people that they could get into a scrap with, and it was all the fighting that they could want. And it was going on. More teeth for them to pick. So it all worked out. They may not have hair, but they definitely got teeth. So they were happy with that. So this sector here happened to be an Imperial supply depot. And they found themselves under assault from the Orks and also from the Genestealer cults coming from both sides. So the Imperial defenders came to the understanding that they were going to abandon it, took what they could and left, that holding this position was not worth the loss of life that was going to come from having to fight off against the two xenos threats. But the two bands that would come in here to fight it found themselves fighting each other for control of the supplies here in this supply depot. And that's why you have the Genestealer cults fighting off against the Ork Kommandos. We are going to be playing the Secure Archaeotech mission here from the main rulebook here in Kill Team 2021. There are 6 objectives, 4 along the middle, and then 1 towards each of the deployment zones or the drop zones. And essentially what you can do is you can perform an action for 1 AP that will let you disconnect the Archaeotech. So it's disconnecting supplies for us. Essentially you just unplug whatever it is, and then that Archaeotech is then, that objective is then disengaged. You can actually pick up the disengaged objectives and carry them with you. They follow all the same rules, so you would drop it if you die right where you are, but you can keep carrying it around and you hold it. And at the end of the game, each time you disengage an objective, you score a VP. And for each disengaged objective that you control at the end of the game, you score 2 VP. We will also have our 3 secondary objectives that will attack ops, which will come up as we reveal them or as we score them, depending upon what they say on the card. So that is the story. That is the mission. It is of note that my opponent Trevor, that I am playing today, is actually him and his wife run Ink and Bristle, which is a commission painting and papercraft company. You can go check them out on Instagram. Go check it out, Ink and Bristle. Say hello to them. He's an awesome guy. They're both awesome people. Go check out their great work. If you are looking for a commission painter or some papercraft or anything else, you can talk to them. I'm sure they'd be able to do and be more than happy to help you with that. Or just go check out their awesome stuff. Give them a like. Tell them the Glacial Geek sent you. Spread the love. So yeah, go check them out. So that is the story. That is the mission. That is the timely plug for a fine gentleman that I am playing today. And before we go any further, though, let's show you the 2 kill teams that are going to be fighting it out. So for the Genestealer Cult, I'll be running an Acolyte hybrid fire team and a Neophyte hybrid fire team. And for the Orks, he'll be running a Kommandos kill team. All right, so going over deployment here for the Genestealer Cult, I have a Neophyte hybrid, Neophyte hybrid, Neophyte hybrid. I've got a Neophyte heavy gunner over here with a seismic or with a mining laser. We then have a Acolyte hybrid fighter over here with a rock saw. We've got a Neophyte gunner with a flamer. We've got an Acolyte leader over here. Another Neophyte gunner with a grenade launcher. We have an Acolyte hybrid. We've got a Neophyte with an icon bearer. And we have 2 more acolyte hybrids, one of which is a fighter with a rock cutter. So that's the deployment for the Genestealer Cult. Going over deployment now for the Orks. We have a Commando Burna Boy over here on the flank. We've got a Commando Boy right over here. We've got a Commando Knob over here behind these barrels, along with a Commando Daka Boy. We then have a Commando Slasha Boy. We've got a Commando Comms Boy. We got a Commando Grot, who's up here flying along with those fly bits there. We have a Commando Rocket Boy right there next to him, and finally another Commando Boy over there on the flank. So that is deployment. We will now do the scout step. Essentially, there are three options that you can do in the scout step. You can choose to fortify, which will allow you to place an additional barrier or barricade. You can choose to infiltrate, which will allow you to change one of your activation tokens during the first turning point. Or you can recon, which will allow you to get a free dash action at the beginning of the game. It also works as a rock, paper, scissors method of choosing who will go first. So recon or fortify will beat infiltrate. Infiltrate will beat recon, and recon will beat fortify. So we are now going to choose that. You choose 1, 2, or 3. If we both choose the same one, then the attacker gets the advantage and gets to choose what they're going to do. So in this case, my opponent, who is the attacker, will get to choose. So we are now going to go with our choices. Are you ready? Mm-hmm. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3. We both choose 3, so we are both going to be dashing. Also, because of that, my opponent has the initiative because he's the attacker. So we will both do our dashes, and we'll come back to you with the first turning point. All right, so into the first strategy step of the first turning point here. We both gained CP, so we're both at 3 because we both have leaders. We then go into the strategic ploys portion, and we both spend CP. I spent CP on Cult Ambush, which will allow me to change my order token for each of my guys during the first turning point, which is pretty rad. And my opponent has chosen to spend 1 on Shh. That's right, Shh is the one for the commandos here. Essentially, it allows him to give everyone who is either concealed token or not in line of sight to any enemy units a free dash action here at the first turn here, which is, or you can only use it once. You could use it. He could have used it in any of his turns, but he's using it this time because he's got a lot of guys who are concealed and that or are out of line of sight, which is a pretty good time to use it. So he's going to spend that CP and allow him to do that. He also revealed in the target reveal step sabotage. So he is going to be trying to sabotage some of my terrain because it has to be a terrain feature with a heavy. We've given all of these the heavy. He's got to have it within. It's got to be within red, wholly within red of my deployment zone. So we'll see how all of that goes. So we'll come back to you with the firefight step. Into the firefight step, the first one to activate is going to be the Commando Rocket Boy, who's going to fire into my hybrid fighter over here. So he's going to have 5 attacks here, looking for 4s to hit. Getting 3 hits, but getting to reroll because he did not move. All right, that's not going to be hits there, so that's going to be 3 hits. What is it? Is it AP anything?
It is. It's AP1.
Okay, AP1, so I'm going to have 2 dice to roll here, looking for 5 ups. It also has splash if there were any crits that would have been doing some mortal wounds, but let's say la vie here. So I'm looking for 5 up saves. Make a crit. So I do have the crit, which means I'll get to block one of those. So I'm going to take 2. What's the damage on this?
4s.
4s. So 8 damage. Ooh, that might be enough. Yeah, so the crit does not block 2 regular. 2 regular can block a crit in shooting, but a crit does not block 2 regular. So I am going to spend a CP because otherwise he's dead. He does die if I don't try to do this. So I'm going to try to save him here. No, that's a dead guy there. Fair enough. And now my activation is going to be to move him up to there, staying in conceal. Now my opponent activated his knob, who moved onto the objective over here and then disengaged the archaeotech over there. He also gave his Slasher Boy, an extra APL, because the knob can do that each turn. Choose someone, give him an extra APL. So he's going to have 1 extra APL. I'm going to follow suit with my leader over here, doing the same, disengaging this objective. Then my opponent's going to activate his guy that had the extra APL over there. He's going to move and dash onto the objective and then spend his last extra APL to disengage that objective right over there. So that is right in the middle. Then I'm going to activate my gunner here, who is going to move with his grenade launcher around the corner and shoot into his slash over there. So I'm going to have 4 dice, looking for 4s to hit. Getting a crit and 2 regular hits there. It is AP -1. So he's going to have only 2 dice here. 1 second. All right, so he's got 2 dice now, looking for 5s. Getting neither of those. Did you want to spend the 1 CP then?
How much?
1 second. All right, so my opponent's going to spend 1 CP on just a scratch. Essentially, it allows him to ignore the damage from one of these hits here. So he's going to ignore the 1 from the crit and take the 4 each there. So he's going to take 8 damage, getting him down to 2. Now my opponent's going to activate his Commando Comms Boy, who is going to at first spend 1 APL to give this other boy an extra APL, and then he is going to move up onto the objective over here. Now I am going to activate my trooper over here, who is going to move up onto the objective over here and disengage it. I'm then going to have another activation because troopers are GA2. I'm just going to move the other guy over there, changed his activation token to conceal, and moved him up behind him over here. Moved and dashed him back over here. Then my opponent's boy over here, who had the extra APL, is going to move and dash onto the objective over here and disengage it. My gunner with the flamer is going to change his activation token. Actually, I'm going to change it to this one. I wanted to change it to conceal. And he's going to move up over there and get some cover. His command, this is the boy, another commando boy, activated, just staying over here, staying hid. My third trooper is going to move up over here, staying engaged, staying concealed. I'm not going to, I don't have any other troopers to activate along with him. All right, so now his commando shooter boy over here, Daka boy, is going to use, what is it,
it's Daka Dash.
Daka Dash. So he dashed up over here and now has line of sight onto my gunner over on this side. So he's going to have 5 attacks, looking for 4s. Ooh, getting the 1 hit there. I'm going to have, it's no AP on this, so I'm going to have 3 dice looking for 5s to try to block it. I don't have cover over there. And I do with the double fill faces. Woo! All right, so now I'm going to activate my heavy gunner. He dashed up to this position, which will allow him to see to his Daka boy. I'm going to fire at him. So it's going to be 5 attacks, looking for 4s. My opponent will get the benefit of cover there. I do have a bipod on that, but because I moved, I don't get the reroll to hit here. Okay, so I do get 3 hits. So you have 2 dice. You can retain 1 regular save because of cover. So, and then what's his save? Is 5?
Yeah, it's 5 ups.
All right, so
just 1 normal save then.
Okay, so he's got the 1 normal save, so that's gonna be 2. What was the damage? Yep, it's 5/6, so that's 10 damage to him. He is dead. And then my opponent's gonna move and dash to get some cover over on this side with his Commando Burner Boy. Then my Icon Bearer is going to move up there, and he is going to spend his second APL to basically inspire with the icon. So models with friendly within square of him will be able to reroll attacks in their in the fight phase, or in the phase, because they reroll one of their attacks because they are inspired by the cult. And then my opponent activated his Grot, who is over here, who dashed over here, and then used his harpoon to shoot over to here. So you pick a target on a piece of terrain and then just move directly to it with unlimited range. And it's like is it once per game, or is it?
Just 1 AP?
No, 1 AP. There you go. So he jumped over here. So now he's in my back line. And then my guy over here is going to activate, coming over here and charging into his Grot. We are now going to fight with his second activation. So hitting on 3s, it's 4 or 5. You got 0 hits there. So these 2 will straight up. I guess I could reroll because he's balanced. There we go. He's dead. He only has 4 wounds. He's dead. Sorry, what I'm going to do is the first one I'm going to strike, and I'm going to implant. which is one of my secondaries that I can do. And then these will kill him. But he was implanted over there. Yes, implant just says here, focus. You can reveal this tech op when you would strike an enemy operative in combat. Instead of inflicting damage on an enemy operative from that strike, you can implant that operative instead. That operative does not lose any wounds from the strike, and you score 1 VP. If 2 other enemy operatives are implanted, you score 1 VP. So you implanted him and then took him out. All right. All right, so now his burner boy is going to overwatch into my guys over here. It's Torrent Circle, so that does mean that he's going to be hitting all of them. So he's going to be making attacks against all of them. So we're going to start with the first one, looking for 3s because it's Overwatch. Oof, getting 4 hits there. I am going to roll my defense, looking for 5s. Getting 2 fill faces and a regular. So that's going to be the 2 fill faces will block out 2 of those. So it's going to be doing 4 damage to me. So still alive. Then the next guy, we'll just keep going down the row. Hitting on 3, so that's 2 crits. Oh no, that's all of them. Yeah, that's all of them. Oh, buddy. And I'm only going to get 1 defended there, but that's going to do 8 damage, which will, or at least, 8 damage there. So that's going to kill the second guy there. And then the third one is just going to get 2. Then I've got my dice saves. Getting a fill face, so I will take 2 damage. So the first guy took 4, middle guy is dead, and the second one took 2. All right, not bad, not bad. And then my guy over here is going to change to conceal and move up into there. And that will be the end of the first turning point. So not bad for everyone. We did pretty good. People are dying already, getting points here. Things are being disconnected. We will now roll off to see who will have initiative going into the second turning point. I'm going to roll a 2, and I rolled a 5, so it will be the Genestealer Cult having the initiative going into turning point number 2. All right, so into the second turning point here in the strategy step, we both gained a CP. My opponent then spent 2 of his CP on strategic ploys, 1 on DACA, which is if they are, any of the commando boys are shooting, or any of the commando operatives are in the shooting, during shooting, easy for me to say, during shooting attacks, if they retain any critical hits, they can retain 1 of their misses as a regular hit. So pretty good. That's pretty nice for all of them. And then he has also spent 1 on, what is the other one? It was
Skulk About.
Skulk About. Essentially, any of his operatives that have conceal orders, they can retain 1 additional, they can retain 1 die as a success, as if they were in cover, basically. So if he's out in the open and I'm shooting at him, he can still retain 1 as a save, as a success from that. And I guess if I was in... No, I guess, yeah. All right, yeah. So that's what he's got there. Sounds good. So that is going to be it for the strategy step. We will come back to you with the firefight step. So my first activation will be the mining laser guy over here who dashed up, and then he's going to take a shot on the burner boy because I did not like what he just did to me in Overwatch, let alone what he would do to me in regular shooting. So he's going to have 5 attacks here, looking for 4s to hit. All right, that's going to be a crit and 2 regular hits. It's AP1, so you can retain 1 of those as a regular save, but I don't even think, even if you took the regular save, he would be dead. All right, so now my opponent activated his Slasher Boy, who charged into my Icon Bearer. So he is wounded when he charged in here, so he's going to be -1 to hit. So he's going to be looking for 4s, but he's got 5 attacks, or is it 4 attacks? 4 attacks. Looking for 4s.
Twin choppers.
Getting 2 hits over there. I should have rolled mine at the same time because I've got the gun butt looking for 3 attacks, looking for 4s. Getting 1 over here.
I'm relentless.
He is relentless, so he can re-roll those. All right, so getting a crit and a 1 there. I am... Ooh, 1 second. All right, so I'm actually going to spend a CP to re-roll here because it's kind of important. Otherwise, I think he's just straight up dead. So here we go. No, I don't get it. All right. So I imagine what you will do is you will block with that, and then you will strike me with those other 2, which is 5 and 4, which is 9 wounds, which will kill my Icon Bearer. Wow, well done. Then my Acolyte Hybrid Trooper over here charged into his Slasher Boy. So I'm going to have 4s looking for 3s. He's got 3s looking for... it doesn't matter, at least on this one. I guess I got balanced, so I can reroll 1 of those. But it doesn't make a difference. That's 2 hits. The first one will kill him because it does more than 2 damage. So he is out of action. And now his boy over here, Commando Boy, is going to dash up to that location. And then he is going to shoot into my guy with the grenade launcher over there. That is going to be looking for 4s, so that's going to be 2 hits. I now have 3 dice here. No save because I'm outside of cover there. So it's going to be looking for 5s to save. Making 1 of them. So that is going to be taking 3 damage from the other hit. My gunner with the flamer is going to move out over there to the objective and then disengage it. Then my opponent's operative over here is going to go into conceal and then move and dash into position over here. Now my gunner over here is going to activate. He's going to move into cover over there and then he's going to shoot at his operative back over here. He's got line of sight into him, so he is not concealed. But he did spend that one so he can retain 1 free save since he is in conceal. So he's going to have 4 shots looking for 4s to hit. That's going to be 2 crits and a regular hit. He's going to have it's AP1, so you only have the 2 dice, so you can take the regular one. Let me see. All right, so we're just talking over what his options were because it does 4 or 5 damage. So right now, those 2 crits are going to kill him. So if he takes a regular save and doesn't get another regular save, he will be dead. Or he can try to roll 2 dice looking for crits, looking for 6s to try to block the crit damage and save him, because as long as he blocks one of those crits, he will survive because it will only do 9 damage otherwise. So he's looking for 5s anyway, so he's going to roll both dice looking for crits. No, doesn't even get 1, so he will be dead. All right, so now his rocket boy is going to fire into my heavy gunner with the mining laser. I am literally like a hair's breadth away from getting cover over here. I'm just out of triangle from it. So I did just mess up with that position. Although I think I moved him as far as he could, so I'm not too concerned. Or not too upset at myself.
I think you were just so concerned.
I was so concerned about killing that Burnout boy because of what he did to me. He needed to die. So here we go. We got 5 attacks looking for...
there's 2 crits.
All right, that's 2 crits.
And I think 1 hit.
Is it 3? I thought it was 4s. They usually hit on 4s, right?
Rocket's force. Yep.
Yeah, Rocket's force. So it's going to be the 2 crits there.
He didn't move.
He didn't move, so he does get to re-roll everything because it is relentless at that point. Getting 1 more hit. Right? Or is it 4s?
No, it's 4s.
That's 4s. Oh, boy. I don't think there's anything I can do. I've got 3 dice.
Yeah.
Is it AP1?
It is AP1.
Yeah, I got 2 dice. Even if I get the 2 crits. Because what's the damage?
4 or 5?
4 or 5. Oh, no. 4 or 5. Yeah, he's totally dead. He's nothing I can do. I'm not even going to roll my dice. He's dead. All right, then I activated my my operative over here, who is going to charge into his commando boy there. So I've got 4 dice looking for 4s. Oh, no, looking for 3s. And my opponent's got 4 dice also looking for 3s, I believe. All right. So I got 2 regulars. I do have balance, so I do get to re-roll 1. Nope, not going to be. So it's going to be the 2 there. We'll come back to you. All right, so we went over this. I parried with my first strike, or my first die, and then my opponent parried with his second one, so that we are both here with our full health, but still engaged. So my opponent picked up the objective over here with his leader, and that is all he's going to do over there. And then I did the same thing with my leader. He had no one he could overwatch with, and then I am going to move and dash up to this location, staying concealed, and see how that pays off. So that's going to be it for the turning point number 2 here. So we now roll off to see who will have initiative going into turning point 3. Opponent rolled a 4, I rolled a 5. So we will come back to you with the strategy step. We forgot about activating these guys. They were hiding behind the rock over here. I didn't see them, so they moved up. We did figure out it didn't make a difference with the Overwatch. There was nothing he was going to be able to do. Anyway, it didn't really change anything, so we just did it here. So now we'll come back to you with the strategy step for turning point number 3. All right, so into turning point number 3 here, we both gained a CP. My opponent spent 1 CP on WAAAAGH! Which means that when he is in close combat, when he's in the fighting, if he retains 2 successful hits, regular hits, he can turn one of those regular hits into a critical. So it's pretty good for him. I've got nothing that I'm going to spend on strategic ploys right now. So we will, and no one's revealing any attack ops, so we will come back to you with the firefight step. All right, my first activation here in the firefight step is going to be my trooper over here, who is going to go hot, and then he's going to charge into his guy over here. Go into combat here. I've got 5 attacks, looking for 5s because he's wounded. Getting the 1 hit. My opponent got 3 hits there. So I'm actually going to implant you with this one and then die. And then with GA2, my other trooper is going to activate. He was my interloper. So when he gets over there, he's going to spend his second AP to interlope, which means I just remove him from the board and I score score 2 VP. Sounds good. Then my opponent activated his leader over here, who just moved back over here. Can't dash because he's carrying the objective, or the archaeotech, or the loot, as we were talking in this one. So he's going to move back over here and give himself concealed. And now my guy over here is going to activate. He's going to charge into this boy. I'm going to have help over here, so I'm going to have 4 attacks looking for 2s. My opponent's going to have 4 attacks looking for 3s. All right, so I do have balance, so I can reroll one into another crit, and then because of that, I can actually turn one of these into a crit because of rending. So rending allows me to turn one of my regulars into a crit if I've retained a crit. And then because of WAAAAGH, you get to the 2 regulars become a crit. So we'll come back to that. All right, so let's go over what we did. So first, I parried his crit with one of my crits. My opponent then struck me with his one there. I then parried his last attack over here with my regular hit. I then had 2 crits left. The first one, I am implanted with him, scoring the second point for that card because that's the 2 other people that had been implanted, and then this one is going to strike him for 5. So leaves him at 5, leaves me at 4. All right, so now his rocket boy is going to dash over to this position so he can get line of sight onto my gunner with the grenade launcher over here, and he's going to fire into him. So he's got 5 attacks looking for 5s. Is that right?
Yeah.
All right, and then I'm going 4s, but you got the 1 hit there. I'm going to retain the 1 for cover and just ignore that one. Now, my other guy over here is going to go to the conceal order, and then he is going to fight into his guy over here. So I'm going to have 4 attacks hitting on 2s because he's getting support. I got at least 1 crit. It means that my first strike will kill him there. And then he's going to move over to there. And then my opponent's boy over here is going to charge into my gunner with the flamer. So he's going to have 4 attacks hitting on 4s. And then I'm going to have, I'm going to have 3 attacks hitting on 4s. Getting 1 hit.
I have 2 hits, so I'm taking
2 hits because a WAAAAGH becomes 1 becomes a critical. So now you get to decide what you want to do there. My opponent's going to strike me with the crit, and then I will parry with my hit over there, blocking out there. So I'm going to take 5 damage, but he's still alive. Then my my fighter over here is going to charge into his boy over on that side. I'm going to have 4 attacks looking for 3s because I've got support there. And it does become relentless because I gave him the mining tool rig, which makes his weapon relentless. So looking for 3s. It becomes relentless. I get to reroll one of those. That was a regular hit there. So that's going to be 2 crits and a regular. My opponent got 1 regular. So my first action is going to be to parry that and then kill him with the rock saws. And then his rocket boy is going to Overwatch, shooting into my gunner back over here. Hitting on 5s because of Overwatch, so no hits there. And then my gunner is going to activate. He's going to fire into his rocket boy. I'm going to have 4 attacks looking for 4s to hit. That's going to be a crit and 2 regular hits. And he's got the 2 defense because it's AP1. So it's going to, you can block 1 of them, right? Is it 5? Yeah, you block 1 of them. And then I think it does... Ooh, let me find... The crack grenade does 4/5, so he is alive with 1 wound left.
I was just going to read.
And then this guy, my gunner over here, is going to activate. He just moved on to the objective over here and picked it up. And then my leader just moved on to contest that objective over there because there's no other Overwatches that can happen. So that's going to be the end of the 3rd turning point. So we will roll for initiative going into the 4th. I rolled a 5, and I rolled a 3, so it will be Orks having the initiative here on the 4th and final turning point. All right, so that's going to be into the strategy step here for the 4th and final turning point. We both gained a CP. Neither of us is spending any strategic points or strategic ploys, and neither of us has any targets to reveal during the target reveal step. So we'll go straight into the firefight step. All right, so starting off here, he's going to activate his rocket boy over here, who's going to fire into my grenadier over here. So he's going to have 5 attacks, hitting on 5s, but relentless now because he did not move. That's how you do that. That's how you take advantage of relentless. And I don't think he's got 2 dice left. There's nothing I can do to save him. He is definitely going to be dead. All right, then this model activated. He picked up the objective over there that was deactivated and moved over to this one. Then my opponent's leader is going to move over to here and stay engaged. And then I'm going to activate my fighter over here. He's going to have 4 attacks. You're going to hit on 4s. It is relentless. He's going to charge in, and then he's going to attack as a second AP. He does have 4 attacks, hitting on 4s. And it is relentless, so I'll get to re-roll this. So looking for 4s to hit, re-rolling. My opponent has 4 attacks, looking for 3s to hit. 5-7 brutal. So brutal means I cannot parry except with criticals. Okay, so I got 2 crits, and I'm looking for 4s, so I'm going to re-roll that one with relentless into another hit. So he's got 2 crits and a regular, and I've got 2 crits and 2 regular. We'll come back to you with that. All right, so my first action was to parry his crit with one of my crits. He then struck me with his crit. I then parried his other attack here with one of mine because it's lethal 5+, we realized. So those are crits as well. And then I'm just going to do 14 damage to him and kill him. All right, and that's where we're going to call it, because the rest of the time my guys are just going to hide and sneak off with the loot that they have managed to secure over here, because the only thing he can do is overwatch at some point with that guy, but I would just keep all of my guys out of line of sight of him and keep them safe. So, a victory for the Genestealers here as they run off with the loot to carry on their continuing mission against both the unfair shackles of the Imperium of Man and the brutish oppressiveness of the Orc invasion, as they fight both fronts very happily to welcome the Void Gods as they will come and provide salvation someday. And the Orcs are fine. You know, a scrap is a scrap. They got some teeth. They're happy. They go back and they'll just keep fighting, because that's what Orcs do. They enjoy it. They're having a good time. So, I hope you guys have all enjoyed this. I certainly have. I have been Phil, the Glacial Geek, as always. My opponent has been Trevor of Ink and Bristle Painting. Go check him out on Instagram. And until next time, stay safe and have fun.